bienvenidos to everyone, or should I say, bonjour, because today we're making French onion soup. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. Between the caramelized onions, the rich broth, the crusty bread, and the melted cheese, this soup has such an amazing flavor. So, today I'm going to show you guys my version of this classic dish. Okay, this soup is easier to make than you think, and everybody's going to love it. So let's get to the kitchen.
Okay, we're gonna get started with the star of our dish, onions. I've got 2 large onions here. I'm gonna cut them in half and then thinly slice them. Now we'll also thinly slice 2 cloves of garlic. Okay, before we start cooking, let's preheat our oven. I'm gonna put it in the bake and broil option, and I'm gonna hit it at my highest setting. Mine is 250 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we can start cooking. Heat a stock pot with a medium heat and add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin Spanish olive oil. Okay, once the oil gets hot, let's add our garlic and our sliced onions and mix it together. And you want to stir these onions occasionally. Okay, while our onions are cooking, let's get the rest of our ingredients ready. Now, typically for a French onion soup, you're supposed to use beef broth. Of course, I'm going to spice things up, so I'm going to be using vegetable broth. Of course, I'm going to be adding some seasonings to this broth to give it a lot more flavor. Begin by adding 3½ cups of vegetable stock to a pitcher. Now add 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, ½ a teaspoon of red wine vinegar, and season it with freshly cracked black pepper. And mix it together. Reserve a ¼ teaspoon of white sugar, ½ a teaspoon of dried thyme, and ½ a teaspoon of dried parsley. Now let's cut 2 diagonal slices from a baguette that are about ½ an inch thick. Now the secret to a great French onion soup is to caramelize these onions as much as we can without burning them. We've been cooking these for about 15 minutes. So at this point, let's go ahead and add our ¼ teaspoon of white sugar and mix it in with the onions. This is gonna help the onions caramelize. Okay, and after cooking our onions for about 20 minutes, they already have that beautiful caramelized color that I've been looking for. So at this point, let's go ahead and add our ½ teaspoon of dried thyme, our ½ teaspoon of dried parsley. Let's season it with some sea salt, some freshly cracked black pepper, and now we'll add a ½ a cup of white wine. At this point, we want to turn up our heat to a medium-high. In about 2 minutes after adding our ½ cup of white wine, let's add our 3½ cups of vegetable broth. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to lower the fire to a low heat and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Okay, while our soup is simmering, let's add our 2 slices of baguette to the oven for about 5 minutes. Okay, now let's get a couple slices of Gruyere cheese and a couple slices of queso manchego. Let's put them on top of the toast, and then let's put the toast back into the oven between 5 to 8 minutes until the cheese is melted and has a beautiful golden color. And let's drizzle a little dried parsley on top of the cheese. After about 8 minutes, let's go check on our toast. And that's exactly what we want it to look like, so let's go ahead and take them out of the oven. Okay, our soup has been simmering for about 15 minutes, so let's go ahead and turn off the fire and let's start plating our dish. Okay, we'll evenly distribute the soup into 2 bowls. And now we'll add our slices of cheesy toast on top. And we'll top off the soup with some dried parsley. Okay, now I'm gonna give the soup a try. Salud. Oh my goodness. It has such a deep flavor to it. The onions are amazing. The toast with the cheese adds a new dimension to the soup. This is incredible. Viva la France. If you enjoyed today's video on making this French onion soup, please hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until the next time, hasta luego.